everybody, welcome to today's lesson. Today in Algebra 1 we're going to be talking about quadratics. Quadratics are the very next thing that we learn after polynomials. The reason is, well, before we even talk about that reason, let's talk about polynomials was the very next thing we learned after linear equations. So after you have linear equations, the next step up in difficulty, the next step up in complexity, it's not really more difficult, it's just more complex, there's more pieces to it. The next step up from linear equations are polynomials, and quadratics are a specific type of polynomial. So make sure you write that down. Quadratics are a specific type of polynomial. We kind of already talked about it like a month ago in our polynomial book, but quadratics are polynomials that have a degree of 2. Make sure you write that down. Quadratics are polynomials that have a degree of 2. If you don't remember what a degree is the highest powered term. So out of anything that's going on in a polynomial, whichever little piece has the highest power, that's going to tell you the degree of that term. I explained it in more detail in the past, so hopefully you remember those videos, or you could just look up how to find the degree of something. But the notes that we're about to have for the next week and a half or 2 weeks are all having to do with quadratics, and quadratics have a degree of 2. Remember that. Okay, let's connect this math to something that hopefully you know about in your own personal life. We got cats, we got rabbits. So, cats and rabbits, what's the difference between those two things? What's the difference? They both have fur, so that's not a difference. They're both animals, that's not a difference. They both have backbones, they both breathe air, they both have food, they're both pets. Those are all similarities, just like how quadratics and lines have some things in similar. But right now we're going to focus on the differences now. So between a cat and a rabbit will have pointy ears, a rabbit will have floppy ears. A cat poops in a little litter box. A rabbit just goes in its cage, which is also where it sleeps. So cats can kind of be trained a little more possibly. At least I think so. I don't have any cats. I don't really like cats, so sorry if you have cats. I don't have a rabbit either, but I would prefer owning a rabbit over owning a cat. Okay, so there's some obvious differences. The difference that we're going to focus on today has to do with how they run. The fact is, cats run in pretty much a straight line. Cats are very nimble and they're quick. They go like pshoo, pshoo, pshoo. They pounce on things. That's because cats are predators. Cats are a branch of, like tigers, and I don't know about lions. Lions are kind of different. They are cats, but they're different. But you have leopards, you have cheetahs. Those are all types of cats. And all of those things go zooming in straight lines. Rabbits, though, rabbits like to hop around. They jump, they have most of their muscle in the back legs, and their front legs are pretty weak. Another result of that is that the rabbit, in the biological sense, would be considered the prey, and the cat would be considered the predator. The predators are very fast and nimble. The prey, they got to use some sort of tactics like hopping. They can possibly jump over a predator, sometimes because the prey can get adaptations that lets them get away. The predators get adaptations like longer arms, or they have claws that can grab things, like a cat can go real quick, grab its little prey. But since we love our animals, we don't let our cats eat our bunnies. So our focus today is that cats go in straight lines. Cats are linear. Cats go straight. They zoom quickly. But a rabbit hops up and down, and when it hops, it makes an arc. How you compare an arc to a line is you would call this a curve. Let's hop into curves, making quadratic equations. If you recorded an animal jumping, it would look something like this, but maybe it would be a bit wider. Alright, so that was all just the introduction to how do linear functions compare to quadratic functions. So far the main ideas are, one's a line, one's a curve, one has a degree of 2, and I hope you remember which one that is, and the other one, we'll talk about it in a second.